everyone, today's video is going to be my end of February updates. So the first thing you'll notice is I no longer have my Ascocentrum curvifolium. I've had it for I think over 4 years now, and in that time it hardly grew any roots, even though it's growing pretty steadily. And this year I decided I wanted to do a bit of a purge. Because of the growth rate on it, I decided just to get rid of it. I know that Paramount has a blooming sized version of that plant, so if I want to get it again, I can. But for now, it's trashed. And I've replaced it with my Paraphalaenopsis labukensis crossed with Seidenfedenia mitrata. So this is previously in the kitchen, so I decided to put it here. You can see here it's quite purple, and it was because of the kitchen light being too strong, but I think the light here will be a bit better for it. And you can see it's also in spike. This is my Brachypeza laotica. It's doing okay. One thing I wanted to point out is that there aren't many roots, or there aren't many new good roots inside the pot. You can see here that one root is actually growing along this leaf, and then those two roots are aerial roots. There's one new root growing there, but I don't know if that's going to go into the pot. So depending on how that new root grows, if it goes into the pot, I'll leave it. But if it decides to become an aerial root, then I may end up mounting this instead. And this is my Ascocentrum ampullaceum, and that looks like a new fan. It's thicker than a flower spike, so I think that's what it's doing here. And this is my Vanda coerulescens, and there's one flower spike. And then I noticed earlier this weekend that there's also another flower spike, so there's two flower spikes on this one. So this is my Vanda Javanica. The reason why I have it in the bag is I'm trying to increase the humidity. So every morning I spray inside the bag and then I close it up. It's not quite airtight. There's still some air holes at the top, so you can get fresh air inside. But the reason I did this was to see if I can get the new flower buds to open fully, because that's the problem I'm having. And if I'm not able to do that, then I'm considering just getting rid of this plant. I can't think of any other reason why the flowers don't open all the way. So these are my Dendrobium Chapayansi seedlings, and they're doing really well. I did reorganize the inside a little bit to make more room, and I got rid of that bottom tray since I wasn't really doing anything. In terms of the seedlings, it looks like this one is doing really well. That one's the tallest, so that's good. And I decided to move all my Paraphalaenopsis laycockii seedlings into one container just to make more space. In all honesty, I probably should have done this from the beginning, but lessons learned. I think there'll be more space for the roots. Also, I will probably try to get rid of some of these this year as well, just to make more space, and I don't need all of them. And this is my Paraphalaenopsis laycockii seedling on the Kulog, and it's doing fine. It's my Renanthera monachica, and I've changed the plant tray that it was in before. I think now I can properly fill it with water. This is my Leptotes bicolor, has 2 buds on it, and it looks like they're getting a little bit bigger, so that's good. So this is my Cleisocentron gokusingii, and I noticed that at the bottom where the roots were, I was looking kind of black, so I cut that off, and I put some cinnamon on it, so hopefully this pushes out some new roots, but if not, I'm probably gonna get rid of it. I'm gonna give it a few more months while the weather warms up. If nothing, then it's gonna go. And this is my Psychopsylla Living Hay. This is also on my trash list, I guess you could say. It grows well. I have new growths all the time, but I don't know what else to do to make it bloom. I'm thinking when the weather warms up, I'll put it outside so that maybe you can get a better temperature drop. So I'll try that this year. This is my Bulbophyllum sanguineo punctatum, and it's pushing out new roots, but I haven't seen any new growths yet. Masdevallia amplexa is still pushing out flowers, which is nice. And this is Dendrobium Christianum, and its new growth is doing well. And this is SLC World Vacation Shibuya Sunset. It has total 3 growths on it, or 3 new growths. So this one, and then that one over there is a bit older. That one in the back is one I noticed fairly recently. And this is my purple Cat Lia. I forget the name, but the variety is Princess Road. Anyway, I decided to give it a tray of water since that's what I've been doing for quite a few plants this year. So that's that. It's still wet because I watered it recently, but still no new growth on it yet. This is my Stereochilus erinaceus. and it's doing okay. I think the light is a little bit too bright for it because there's quite a lot of purple coloration actually underneath the leaves. I think that might be an issue. Nothing looks burnt or anything like that, it's just that coloration. Also, these leaves are a bit stubby. I'm hoping this one will be better. So this is my Gallandra Berry Eye, and this leaf had a pretty bad pest problem. So I isolated it, I cleaned it, and I sprayed it, and it appears to be fine now, although this leaf it's a bit damaged, which is why it's like this, but I don't see any signs of pests anymore. This is my Paraphalaenopsis jose, and it's pushed out a few taller leaves, so I think that's a good sign. This is Cleisocentron Elena Lawson crossed with Tigrinum. It's heading into dormancy, so I unpotted it, cleaned up the roots, and peeled back all the dry sheaths. The reason I did that was this had a pest problem at one time, so I just wanted it to be super clean. I also put the media in the microwave just to kill anything that might have been there. So this one is pretty much dormant at this point. This is Tigrinum crossed with Kleberianum. So this one consistently had a pest problem. Seems okay now, but when this fully hits dormancy, I'm going to do the same thing, unpot it, clean it up, get rid of all the sheaths, kind of scrub it down, so hopefully whatever that pest was, it won't come back. So in the back there is my Dendrobium Chapayansi. It's not doing super great. I'm going to give it the same amount of time as my Cleisocentron. So if it pushes out roots, then that's great. And if it doesn't, then it's gonna go. And this is my Phal cornu-cervi Shadowlette, and it's been pushing out that flower spike, and it's starting to form a bud on it, so she get flowers on this soon. So this is my Dendrobium antenatum cross. You can see it's pushing out this flower spike. There's one starting inside here, it hasn't developed yet. And there's another flower spike that's developing in there. And this is my Cleisocentrum northern Mikabi, and it's in bud. And this is my LC Supersonic Striking Lip, and it was doing not super great. The pseudobulbs became very shriveled, and you can sort of see it here. This one seems to be plumping back up, so that's good. So we'll see how this goes. And this is Dendrobium Sherry Abe, and it's still in bloom. It's been in bloom for at least a month, so very long lasting. And this is my Galiotea fimbriata. So in addition to this one, it's starting to push a new growth there, so that's good. And this is my Psychopsylla alata. It's doing okay. I think I may need to spray it down. This leaf doesn't look super good. I'm a bit worried about damaging the new growth though. But overall it's fine. This is Dendrobium linawianum, and it's currently being isolated because I have a problem with mites on this one. This is my Neophonetia hakucho, and this is going to be on my purge list. Neos are not my favorite, and I just want one at this point, so I think this is the one I'm going to give away. And this is Dendrobium Virginium, and its new growth is doing well. And this is Giganteum germanianum. I think I was warned that this is prone to spider mites, and it happened. So I did isolate it, and I sprayed it down, I washed it, and I think it's fine now. The part that's bothering me is this top part, so I'm thinking I might just cut it and then allow for all these side growths to grow. And this is my Renanthera tenoglossum, and the roots are finally long and pliable enough that I'm able to kind of pin them down onto the kulog. The one on the right there's a bit weird, but that's okay. And the two on this side are the length of the root is closer to the log, so that's fine. And the plant is doing fine on it still. And this is Bulbophyllum Princess Bajaratana, also on the kulog, and it's really happy on the kulog. The roots have attached to it, so that's super good. Now I just need to see how big that next pseudobulb is going to be when it grows. This is my Chysis levis, and I've decided to put this on my purge list. I really don't want a white Chysis. Even though the plant is nice, I really wanted not white, and this is what I got. I am in contact with clouds right now. I distinctively remember that they described it as orange, and this particular variety is white, and it's a selfing. It's very likely that all offspring would be white, so I'm seeing what they can do. This is my Stanhopeia nigroviolacea Batman, and there's 2 new growths on it, so that's good. This is my Vanda Javanica, and that root is doing fine and has another new root starting, so that's really good. So this is my Dendrobium cariniferum. This is also on my purge list. If I don't get any blooms, I'm going to get rid of this. I won't even give it away because it's possible that it's just a weak plant and I don't want to give away like bad plants. But if I do end up giving this away, I'll probably get some sort of replacement with a similar flower. I know there are some available, but what I will do is when it warms up, I'll put this outside so it can get its temperature drop, and we'll see if that helps. And this is my Russelliana crossed with tigrinum, and it's just starting to push out a new growth there. And this one still hasn't done anything yet. And this is my Psychopsylla Living Hay alba. So this one had a continuous pest problem that was difficult to deal with. So I soaked it in a neem oil solution and it is completely clean now. So that's great. This is also going on my purge list. I had an agreement with Tension that they would give me a replacement and I would give them this one. But I don't know if they're going to be able to actually visit the country this year. So I might just give it away and then buy a replacement myself. Paraphalaenopsis from Brachypeza has a new leaf. And this is my Phal subparishii. It's still in spike, and the spike hasn't advanced in any way, so still waiting on it. The spike also hasn't blasted at all, so it's still alive and it's ready to go. So this is my no ID Phal, and it's in bloom. Just waiting for the last 2 buds to open before I take photos. I don't think I'm going to do another bloom video on this, but we'll see. This is my Renanthera deformis, and it's pushed out this leaf, and this leaf is bigger than the last leaf, which is good. It also seems to be pushing out growth in a spike or 2 spikes, but there's one thing growing there and another thing growing right there. And this is my Dendrobium bicolor on the kulog. Overall it seems fine on it. This flower is fading. And then on the new plant that I bought, this growth is starting to push out a flower. I don't know if it's pushed out any new roots. I didn't want to remove the moss, but even if it hasn't, it seems to be doing fine on it. Anyway, that's my video for today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!